Recently, ICA organized roundtable conference on drone at USI Shankar Vihar, New Delhi. This event saw participation from various stakeholders who hailed the initiative by NADDSO, that is National Association of Drone Developers and Space Organization.
Drones and drones have a remote wire car. Right there, you can turn right, left, off, all the drones. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60 years back. Then it came to wireless. Then it came to the air modeling systems that were hobby in school. So I grew up with treating drones, the basic platform drones as a dumb system. We in NADDSO are actually focusing at smart drones. Why is this smart drones is? Today, if you like today you have a drone which is in a storm or otherwise, they can't decide on the home the kind of input which is going to come, the kind of cloud infrastructure which is required in hospital, it has to be actually precision of AI and all has to be at the edge. Technology is not an issue. All of us are handling mobiles, which are a processor and memory, which is capable of AI. Right? So that is how we are looking at drones. So actually, why we are having a combined seminar is both differentiate a drone from the AI aspect. When I say AI aspect, I'm also not looking at just the machine learning or the machine intelligence or machine much confusion. I look at AI as the entire system of processing, the storage, the infrastructure to pass the analytical aspect, right? So that is why we're looking at, we should be looking at it from that point of view, not just as just drone as a bird. So drone today have functionality, that is the market. How we look at it. I'm sure just data for anybody else can have today we also look at drones as as just something which is a aerial platform. It could be subsurface, surface, ground, and even the airspace. So with that as the background, what we are looking at, we will be taking steps to meet the requirements of both the commercial and also the defense and security in that. So this was a little background of how we were actually looking at drones and why NADDSO is also one of the verticals under IRAN. So that makes a little more sense into that. Right? So this idea of NADDSO came to actually facilitate. And the first question comes up, there's already a drone federation in India. And so how are we different from that? Well, from my first experience in the armed forces, where I was actually I'm a communicator in network warfare and AI and ICT, too many hats. From that background, having operated in the era of mainframe, which had the RAM of just 28, 18, and processing power was also, and the clock speed also in kilohertz. Now we are putting 8, right? So from that background, I've been analyzing how we have to actually progress. Yes, we can't just take a jump and the jump right? No. That won't be correct. And also, we should be looking at we are all, how do we are going to ideate a program wherein it should be a multi-purpose use. Any solution you make, like we take the case of the drone, it's just the endurance, the load, the payload capacity, the communication system, which tells you what reach it can reach with the which distance it may go. So that is one part. The other is what functionalities make it smart. This is something which we are looking at. We are looking at drones which are visually appealing. They are good. You see the Tokyo Olympics or the military. As far as I'm concerned, they are not such a big challenge because it is in an area where you could have a Wi-Fi which is big, supporting almost 1 gig of bandwidth, or you got 5G in there. So that for a drone, where you have a drone expert, is not a major challenge. Right? The programming and everything can be done. It's just that how artistic and so what we are now looking at here is how a drone can be built as a utility tool in the hands of anybody who wants to use it. Right? Even if you want to deliver upon the future, it can be used. So that is where we are actually looking at differentiating between usage. Right? And the other aspect is also policy, which are there because of ITA having a good inroads into the policy aspects. Yes, we do, of course, the funding. So that is the backbone which already has. This particular background is how the idea of massive. I think that is the thing.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, actually the time for this session was from 3:30 onwards, and a lot of participants are still down below. We have requested Lieutenant General Kandare to come here. He is the principal advisor to the Ministry of Defence. Everybody knows him, he needs no introduction. He had to leave early at 4 o'clock, so we thought we will take this opportunity of starting this discussion a little earlier as people will build up. Over to Raj to start the discussion, and then we will start the talk.
I welcome General Kandare as well. He's spending some time with us. General Chan, as you rightly said how this idea has been formed, I'll tell you my experience around when we started AICR. Initially, we were engaged in providing trainings and workshops in college and in schools, around 2014 in fact. And we used to train students on drone, how to make that assembling part and making some basic use of drones. If you see the scenario last 7-8 years, we have not reached to any further destination. You see, still our position will remain same, but world is moving very fast. As we have put 3 Idiots movie where we have seen some gentleman is making and flying a drone, same thing still happening. Nothing, no big change has happened in last so many years. And India being one of the biggest marketplace, considered as a top IT country, right? Still, this is really a challenge for us that we are not doing anything which is remarkable at a global space. And since we've been involved in education and all, and we are also into setting up so many technology things across. So last time I met General Panu in one of the events, and he associated with us for the formation of NADDSO. What we have discussed, like how the difference will be created, right? Either there is some policy related issues at the government level, this is the challenge, or some other challenges are there. If you see today, policy related issues, or my observation, that is not a bigger challenge. Yes, security might be a concern. Whenever you talk about drone flight and civil area or some areas, it might be a concern. But what is stopping us to export drone to other nations? Right? we have talent. The same people are working outside India in the major companies, and they are doing the same thing. And they are being the bigger leaders, right? We talk about DCI. Don't you think that any Indian would be working there? Must be working. They must be contributing. But here, at the ground level, we are not doing anything. So what can be done? There must be some challenges also. Yes, drone ecosystem requires lots of technical support or say fund support or whatever things are that obviously be the part of the discussion in our meeting. So the idea is being formed. If we create this NADDSO and make a community, all the drone manufacturers, not only limited to drone manufacturers, all allied companies serving to drone ecosystem, any IT company, they should also be part of this, right? And not only making from defense perspective, all industry perspective, all should come to one place. Discuss the challenges, what support is needed, and if it is needed from the government side, we have to push government for the same thing. If it is needed, something is to be done at our level, we have to discuss and moving together, because still, lot many companies still sampling drone here, importing from China or some neighboring countries. This is the real scenario. We all knows what is happening at the ground level. But that is not the destiny for us. We should think something beyond our values, which we can actually deliver. So why can't we make a best supplier of drone? India is the best supplier of drone to the global world. So this is the point we will be discussing whole day. And as an industry body, obviously some election will be formed, like some more members to be joined either today in some other activity as well. And so that industry representation should happen. As of now, as General Chan has said, DFI, yes, they have contributed a lot. Since last 4 years, they have done a wonderful job, whatever they have done. But we have to go to the next level. That is important. Where is the challenge? So we will engage each and every company. They should come together, and we need to work together actually. Competition is fine. If something is your expertise, you will be taking mileage of that. Someone else can have different expertise. But together we can work for the same cost to make a bigger market to supply to the entire world. So this is the whole idea. And finally, like today is a great day. Like we finally started this exercise. We've been working for so many months. And fortunately, General Manu is there to give us making the complete strategy, how we can take the things further quickly. And we have technical expert like General Chan is there. And now we will be having mentorship guidance from the government side also. General Kandare is there, and all of you. So this has to be a very interactive session. You should ask, and we will also ask you, why can't you do this? What are the challenges you are facing? And something wrong if it is happening, you will also question it. This is how this entire association will work, and we take it go to the next level. This is what I will communicate over to General Banu, and so that we can moderate the session and we can finalize the agenda for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. Can you hear me? Thank you, Raj. I think we will not wait too much. Let more people just come in, and we will start the formal proceedings of a roundtable conference. While in the preliminary, of course, we have spoken about the purpose of getting together. On the right hand side, Mr. Raj Sharma, within ICA, also the initiator of the discussion and formation of NADDSO. General Kandare, I have known him forever. He is the longest serving military officer in the military. There is no other officer who has spent so much of time in the military ever in the Indian history. So we have he was also the DGDIA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, a person who actually invested a lot in knowledge, because intelligence is nothing but knowledge. And if the knowledge comes to you, when he was the DGDIA, the only constraint he had was that he had the knowledge and he could not share the knowledge. But he has that kind of knowledge which is stored somewhere in him. But his knowledge was best utilized by the NSA, where after he relinquished the job of DGDIA, he went as the advisor, military advisor to the NSA. he spent considerable time in the NSA's office looking at not the bird's eye view, but from space, how India is growing and how India needs to grow. He's got a great ability to understand the gap of where we should have been, where we are, and where we should be. Also, now that with that experience, he has been very appropriately placed as the principal advisor, military advisor to the Ministry of Defence. So I think we don't have anybody more competent, more, I would not say sincerely or all, but competent, I would say, in bringing to forward the importance of the discussion that we are having today on drones. Drones are reflective of the overall standards of technology in automation that any country can actually benchmark to be able to contribute towards the national security. Drones are not, as normally people understand, was something which is meant for entertainment or which are meant for covering some photographic events from little higher plane. But I think drones have captured the importance in a manner that they have become the future for the larger development and security of the world. Also, as we continue our today's roundtable conference, we also have Air Commodore Rajiv Mittal with us. He is the head of the Department of Aerospace Design. And he's hands-on as far as the aerial platforms are concerned. Where drones are not only an aerial platform, they are actually more than an aerial platform. They are largely much more than an aerial platform. We will talk about it. And you will discover what they can be seen as. And Mr. L.B. Chand is there. He, of course, with his background in the electronic warfare, he understands the entire electromagnetic spectrum and technology which largely runs this system of drones. And then we have Dr. Sabyasachi, who's actually the CEO of NADDSO that we are creating, sitting on the screen there. So I will first request all those who are sitting on the desk. It was not meant to be a desk actually. So we were all supposed to be sitting together at the same time. But now since the format has become like this, I would just request a very quick 2-minute intervention from the speakers here before we open our house for discussion. Short interjections from everybody. But to say that how the drones are today is how the Jeep came up in Second World War. It was actually meant for general purpose vehicles. You could attach anything to it. It was just 4 wheels, and then you could attach, you could load it up with anything. You could transport manpower, you could load rations, you could transport from one place to another, which was like a all-terrain vehicle. And later on, Jeeps started becoming a platform for fighting, and then more and more came out of it. So drones also are like a Jeep for the future, which are a platform on which we can just about load anything and contribute to those. I think I will give a introduction, and then comments there.
So ADGFT, especially the guest for us, in fact, he's also joined. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, that's right. 3:30 was the plan. General Kandare was supposed to leave, in fact. He's also here. So we met. We just carry on the discussion.
Okay, so I will then request that we start speaking like this because of the time constraint. Raj, thank you very much. You already given the introduction. We will go like this, and this is a round table, and we come back and then stop. Thank you, Nandu. Very long introduction, but I want to straight away get into the discussion mode, and when we are looking at what we are calling as drones, let me call it as an unmanned autonomous vehicle vessel system platform, whatever. And especially when the naval officers are here, I definitely want to deal with that also because the underwater domain awareness and the capability to mine the seabed which are lying unutilized as of now. So that part also is something which is on my radar screen. So that is we are looking at this unmanned system, which essentially started with what was already we covered. We are talking about the utilization of work. When we talk of covering a balance, we are talking of how it is useful now for mapping, for mining. So there are many such utilizations that we have, and there will be certain things that we will discuss, and I want to hear from you rather than having a monologue. So I want to pass the baton to the and the leaders.
It's a matter of great honor and pleasure that I am sitting inside NADDSO, and you is a powerhouse of knowledge. So, but yes, you told correctly, drone to be taken as unmanned aerial or autonomous systems. What we should be certainly talking about are, if India has to become a superpower in the field of drones or in the field of UAS, then we have to have our priorities set very right. How can we get into drone component manufacturing? Will we continue to be, as currently pointed out by the Panno, that we'll be getting the items from Taiwan or China or Spain or Ukraine or Turkey and assembling and selling it as a indigenous or Indian product, or we will make our own motors, we'll make our own batteries, we'll make our own propellers, we'll make our own autonomous systems, we'll make our own autopilots, and we'll make our own algorithms like AI. So that is what is required. And can X, Y, Z itself be a full manufacturer of all things, or should we make special concentration centers or a person or a company who starts concentrating on making the batteries or the power plants? Because only according to the not the 45 minutes duration drones will be there, drones will be there, we will be flying for the months together. Getting the electronic intelligence, getting the comming. So you may be you will find a drone who will be there in the months together and will be lying in space. So we have to have a very clear roadmap to create specific sectors for creating drone components manufacturing and getting expertise. Whether do we have technical know-how? Yes, we have. Whether we have inclination? Yes, we have. Whether we have enabling atmosphere? We have to create. For that, think tank like Kandar is required, who has got great influence over the government to see that different clusters are created and we create specific center of excellence in these fields. Second thing, everyone knows that the drones are going to proliferate. If that's going to happen, when are we going to have our UDM systems? Because if you have automated systems, you have to have a traffic management system for that. Time has come. We have been having lots of discussions. We had drone months, we had other things, but time has come that we formalize these things and we get our UDM systems. Then, if you have to have drones, and if you have to have a counter drones, and if you want to exceed the field of drone, what are we going to create? Drone testing range. And drone testing range is spread over east, west, north, south. Because you are now today, I know for sure because of my involvement of job, that there are more than 400 drone manufacturers in India. So we have to have drone testing range, somewhere in south, somewhere in east, somewhere in west, somewhere in north, and we have to have an air traffic system with them there because they should not be hindered by the civil traffic. They should be able to experiment and test and prove their technologies, prove their concepts, and come up with solutions both in the field of drones and anti-drones. And since talking about the anti-drones, if we talk about the military, now being a military officer myself, for counter-drone system, the future is immense. Actually, already the last 2-3 wars what we have seen have already put an imprint very clear that counter-drone systems, counter-UAV systems, and drone as an offensive weapon is going to be a reality. For that, what kind of facilities are we going to create and how are we going to enable these manufacturers? And lastly, associated with the UTM, when are we going to formulate the drone laws? So these I feel should be the agenda. These experienced people and all people who have got so much of knowledge, much more than me, should be talking and should be coming out, and we should be putting up a clear-cut white paper to the government that these are the priority areas for the India if we have to become a superpower in the field of drones. We certainly can become, but whether we will become or not will depend whether we take actions on these 4-5 points now in next 1 to 2 years or not.
Okay, I have already given a little brief, so, and you all are experts, so I'm not there, but I just tossed one idea. This idea actually has been in my mind for quite some time. You all can think. Rogue drone is an issue, is a problem. And the rogue drone cannot be something which is coming across the border, it could be also within. A rogue could also be there who is not following the rules and laws. Especially in the action, even with the UTM. How are we going to show that a drone is following the trajectory typically or not, right? Unless there's a pre-recorded flight path controller is incorporated. So the idea which came in my mind, and I'm just toss it out, is all of you, all of us are from the computer background. Initially had a unique MAC address. Right? That is how you could do that. Then it came IP address and things like that. And when you look at your mobile, there is a unique, in association with the SIM, there's an EMEI. So, I was now, the idea which came in my mind was, why can't we incorporate as a policy that every drone will have a flight control? Why can't a unique ID be associated with the most crucial and critical part in the drone, right? So the advantage would be you will be able to identify whether the drone is actually of the Indian origin or has the license to be operating in Indian aerospace. And if somebody is not using it, you can identify that who's the culprit, who's breaking the law. So I just want to toss this idea because it's doable. That's what I think at the first part of this is something there. So I leave that idea there because I'm sure you all are experts in speaking more than us. Thank you.
I am Subhash Agrawal. I am from DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade, and additional DG there. Frankly, I have come here mainly to learn. As bureaucrats, we are not very tech savvy, and I don't know much about the drone per se. But what's important for us that DGFT is the one which makes policies and also regulates all the international commerce transport. So we are in the process of making policy related to export of drones. In DGFT, I basically look for export. Drone comes under SCOMET list, so that poses a challenge and lots of international obligation on us. We are signatories to the all major export control regimes, and we have a very strict compliance with international best practices. And our track record as far as non-proliferation is concerned is impeccable. We are a member of MTCI, we are a member of Wassenaar Group, we are a member of Australia Group. We are compliant with NST and Convention on International Non-Proliferation. But drone, as I see, is the future. Like, it's a technology which should not be inhibited. Only kind of regulation. Now, if you don't allow the drones at all, that's the easiest thing to do. We remain compliant with all the export control regimes. But that may not be in India's interest, because if we allow export, one, it gives us a scale and it gives us footprint across the border, the world. So there's lots of consultation is going on right now with DGFT. ISRO is one of our partner in government organizations. MEE is there. Some other ministries and organizations are there. And till now, the drones exports are completely prohibited. But I am very confident that very soon we should have some policies and some procedures through which we should be able to allow at least some drones to be exported. Nothing is concrete, the consultations are going on, but I am confident of that. So this round table will probably help me more by at least knowing a little bit about drone. So when we have our next meetings, probably I will be in a better position to actually discuss about it and formulate the policies. Thank you. I am looking forward to it.
Yes.
And this, so I just want to ask one thing, because we are lucky to have the ADP here for the trip. And just for everyone's information, Wassenaar arrangement, in addition to G20 and SCO, Wassenaar arrangement again we are rejecting this year. And while what has been said is there is a restriction or there is a ban on export of drones. Under Wassenaar arrangement, the NEA can ask the members as to what offensive weapons have been given in our area which upsets the peace and tranquility. I would request the agency that maybe this can be a question this year as to how does Turkey provide these platforms in our area and creates a turbulence and turmoil. And if that is the possibility of getting information, some country can be put under export control list. That's what one small point I have.
Sure, thanks a lot. And any of these kind of issues will be very thankful to actually receive. It gives us basically a leverage vis-a-vis the countries with whom we negotiate. So, any points? Most welcome.
And incidentally, Pakistan and China are not the members of Wassenaar, so you can ask anything, nobody
Imports also banned Sundays.
Yeah.
On the very good top companies from US and Israel, autopilots and all, they want to transfer the product to India. Suppose we're using that autopilots and all, we can sell out those all over the world actually. And I represent some US company and all, they're ready to actually. And I want to EFT, whatever you ask, vice versa.
Yeah.
No, they're ready to sell to India.
So they know the top technologies, okay. With that technology, made in India drone can be sold all over the world. But that technology, we are not able to get the things. I'll get recently I participated in defense exposure. What happened, they send a dummy kit. The dummy kit, it got stuck in the Bangalore airport. And the dummy kit, it can't, like, it won't use. I paid 1 lakh as an import.
Same, we also had the same problem. We brought a dummy drone and it got stuck in customs, we were penalized and we couldn't clear.
I think what is going to emerge out of this round table, or so-called round table, is that the association can get all your problems together and approach the government, the appropriate authority. Because if you both had not met, you would not have known that both of you are having the same.
Actually, we told them also.
But since DGFT has a ban, so custom will not move. And there is a classification that toys and all that, and they did not allow us to.
Even actually, drones clauses has to be not properly mentioned. You should separate.
HS code is not properly mentioned.
Actually, see, I actually don't look after import, but it's the same department. So my colleague only looks after import. So if I get these issues,
Proper coding for all the subsystems, this will be good actually.
We need to expand that list.
so ITC code,
Subheading of STC, HSN has to be done.
it's not specifically for the drones. The this HS code is not there.
Yeah, because HS code is old and drones are new, and now that we are listing 20 different parts for drone, so we'll have to expand that list.
Separate code should be there, separate code should be there.
Please.
Exactly what actually the association has a challenge now.
Yes.
And we don't restrict yourself only to something which is flying.
Yes, okay, I'm talking about all
The entire policy will get stuck up.
No, but see, these are the inputs. This is how we get it.
Yeah.
So I'll endorse General Khandara's point. If we can have some kind of a window wherein people having problems can reach and get a resolution or a clarification. Sometimes the information or a system or some process would be there from the government side, but we might not be aware. So if a single window kind of a helpline can be created for drone ecosystem, that would be the best service.
See how it happened in 2015 when the Raksha Mantri wanted to interact with defense industry. He realized that there is no one single organization with which he can interact. That's how SIDM got born. So here today is the historic occasion when all the people who are into this unmanned autonomous system, manufacture, research, whatever you call it, this one voice, I think, let's strengthen this part, and automatically then whatever is our requirement, indigenization or import, everything cannot be indigenized immediately on the press or the button. There will be certain parts which still will have to be brought. Even that needs to be streamlined, otherwise we will make something component and there are and somebody will do white labeling, which is also not correct. So I think that organization needs to come up.
We should come out like mobile, when mobile is become a every day mobile or not, they say is a costly toy, costly phone. Now we can see ordinary person using mobile. And
We can become an export hub of drone sir, and as he is right, we can import technology today and then we can re-export the finished product.
In fact, when it comes to policy issues, even we have a challenge trying to understand. We are all stakeholders. We are consumers, we are manufacturers, there are some people who are integrators. Anybody having any suggestion, which obviously everyone will have, please give it to the association and let them give it to us, so at least we know that we are not working at cross.
Sir, I have some points here. Can I add? I am audible.
Yes.
I am from academics. I am heading one college, JSS Academy of Technical Education, Noida. Here we have set up under AICT around 100 labs all over India. That is called Idea Lab. And incidentally, I am from defense background. I am a retired wing commander after 30 years of service. We already made 2-3 drones in our lab and had a drone show in our college. My question to the honorable panel at the dais and the other member who are in this esteemed roundtable summit, I would like to contribute in the academia industry role, because until our new generation, I would like to take our seniors on the back somewhere, say around 80s and around when the car manufacturing started in India. Or say maybe if you take another 50 years back, the aircrafts started. As per me, as per academia, what we professors and the senior people feel, the coming generation is we want to grow as a superpower, both as a civil economy power and obviously military power. We have to go third dimension. The third dimension is the complete space available, be it having a colony on the Mars or the Moon or XYZ, or the ISRO is doing wonderful. As far as the drones taking to third dimension, I propose, firstly thanks to Sri Raj Sharma and the General Pannu sir and General others DAS member, I propose at least all over India in a state, every state have 4 or 5 academic center of excellence on drones, maybe funded by totally by government or the PPP models, and it should have an interface both academia and the industry. Why we should what you can say import all items, like if you see if I can propose a little example, all of us are carrying mobile phone and all are made from other states, not in India except few. So my sincere request to the honorable governing agency like sir is there another, we have to take these things in a futuristic manner to have a equal stake of the government agencies. I personally feel we should not leave our private parts to fund totally everything and give the customized thing, just government buy it. Otherwise we'll lose the, see the Iran is ahead of, even Turkey is ahead of us, and technically they are nowhere, as far as the intellectual mind in the academia concerned, they are nowhere close to us. So some gap is there. I appeal this the honorable member, everybody here. Let's work together. As far as academia is concerned, I am ready to lead on this field. As far as taking drones, both civil and defense applications. Somewhere we have to have a proper ecosystem and sustainable system. Both should be there. It's not only ecosystem is maintained, but not sustainable. Because a very second day soap of a what you can say industrialist or maybe some industry man closes if there is no sustainability. So I think I am there to take the challenge for academic side, but my sincere view is that academy, industry and the governments, AIG, academia, industry and the government, they have to work in a very ecosystem and sustainable manner. This is my point. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
for giving
Dr.
this opportunity. Thank you.
And I would take it forward from here. It was, the meeting just started off and it went at all my points have been addressed. And let me start with, I am Dr. Sabyasachi Ghosh. I am the CEO for NADDSO. And first of all, I will be taking just a minute to run a small video. I would clear a few of your doubts, and then I will take another 1 minute to gist out where we stand, how and why we're here. And I welcome all the dignitaries, and in the end, of course, from DRDO, scientist is also here. Thank you so much for traveling from Bangalore to here to join us. And yes, I will take just 1 minute to run this video, and after that I will address all of you.
Is fast emerging as the growth engine with the world-class technology, seamless connectivity, state-of-the-art infrastructure, talent pool, and India has the potential to be a global drone hub by 2030. Capitalizing on this, National Association of Drone Developers and Space Organization, NADDSO, is formed with the industry body to cater the need of the drone and aerospace industry in India. It helped them to flourish, move forward to fulfill the national agenda highlighted by the Honorable Prime Minister. Our key expertise are services to the industry, research and network, industry and technology promotions. The NADDSO is a wing of ICRA, a non-governmental, non-profit organization that aims to promote the competitiveness and growth, advocacy for policy change, enhancing competitiveness in global market, encouraging responsible business practices, and fostering innovation. NADDSO, a complete association and strength for the industry by the industry. The drone and
Thank you. So last was, I would be talking for the industry only. This is a forum which has been created. Say we always talk about we keep on seeing pictures. Drone policy has come up. PLI has been done. FIO's research work has been submitted. Where is my industry people standing now? I don't have imports. I don't have export. If I have to import things, I have to import to black market with a high price by Vietnam or by Bangladesh or something like that. Yes, now SCOMET. We fall into SCOMET list. There's a huge long procedure. Now Modi ji is saying that you will be a drone nation by 2030. I have no single window system. I only attend meetings, and only I have is marketing and social media. That's the voice of the industry. But I have personally spoken with every individual, most of it. It is still now, it is 250 odd people who are doing very good business in India, and they are trying. And who is their main client? It is only defense. Tomorrow, after this defense always, they have to work very hard, competition is very high, and you have to become that niche to reach there. So how will we become that ecosystem? This is where it is needed. The meeting actually went off and kicked off and everybody spoke, and I was so happy because two main people of the government talking to each other on the two main pain points. One is defense on security issues, and the other is DGFT, one of the main policy makers of the government. When I personally have read the drone policy, which people of the industry are so-called happy, which they are not when they read it, it is nothing but a bits and bits from USA and other countries' drone policy. Let us admit to the fact, we need some more time. Who will do the research? Nobody is taking that main point. That is the main thing where we come up as NADDSO. We will bridge the gap between the industry and the government. We will strengthen the government from our side. We will take forward those agendas, like rightly said, like Jugapo is having import issues. Might be somebody has other comic related issues. Somebody doesn't know how to get PLI even. Who helps them? Nobody does. So that's why NADDSO is formed, and I'm very happy there are already quite a number of people are there already, and I am looking forward to do an election and form a proper industry body. As far as now, there is no credibility that has been made from the investors, industry level. So we have to wait for the next meeting. So this roundtable is being taken as one of the first meeting of the governing council. And thank you so much, sir, from all the departments. We actually want to connect the dots to ease the pain of the industry. And without taking much time of yours, I would say thank you to all my people in the dais, and we would really look forward that we will be submitting a white paper to DGFT and the government, also to the defense, to enable them, to equip them to take the right decision as fast as possible. We would also request DGFT that to include us also among other main panels wherever there is discussion, so that we can also come up and help in the advocacy and take the words related to policy in all aspects from the industry to the government. With this, I would say thank you. I would also request Panam sir to say his last words.
Thank you, Sobya. I think we are just beginning. So, yes, of course, as we said, because of the compulsions, it became a task. But also, we started this little early because General has to leave at 4 o'clock. So, I will request, because we will go around the table, I will request 2 speakers who want to say something extremely important for General Khandari to hear, because he'd like to then conclude and leave, and then we will continue with the discussion. So one is here, and okay, there. So back first. Okay.
Good afternoon. So we we are the drone manufacturing company, and we work with defense and DRDO very closely. Can you hear me, sir? Is that?
If you speak loudly, yes.
Yeah. So one of the major areas of concern for us is proving grounds. So yes, a lot of talk is going on about setting up a drone testing facility, but that is mostly for quadcopter drones. So we make fixed wing drones, and we need something urgently, to be done about that. Because see, for us, any flight trial that we are even trying to conduct right now needs about 100 kilometers of range where we need to fly the aircraft. So,
one thing, will it be possible for you, for General Kandari's understanding of when you talk about testing facility?
right,
What is the list that you have in mind?
right. So,
And then, DGFT is here, and then Kandari is here. So put together, the policy, the decision, and the ask will come together, and I think that paper will say, hey, this is the testing facility that we need, and they can take a decision where to have it, who should run it, and how the access to the testing facility can be built. So you have a list in your mind,
Yes.
or would you give it later?
yes, no, we have this. So basically, we need a runway of about 500 feet, which opens up into the sea, because that's where we get enough space to do flight not being overpopulated areas. And we need a direct connectivity, mobile ADC. So a VHF, UHF connect, communication and telemetry. That's all that we require.
Can I add to this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll also introduce Dr. S. Rajagopal. He got late because of the flight. He's scientist G, DRDO, specialist in the field that we're talking about. So, firstly, welcome. Sorry, we started late.
I'm also sorry.
So, I will request you to please give a short, interjection.
Yeah.
So we'll continue then.
Okay. I just
So sorry, Jimmy.
I wanted to answer, respond for his thing, because that was where we are also having. Just to introduce, actually, I am Alioman. I am working as a scientist in Aeronautical Development Establishment, DNRC, which is a pioneering institute involved in the design and development of unmanned vehicles. There, actually, DRDO also has taken a conscious decision that they will not be distributing the developments of these small unmanned vehicles. We are doing the design and development of much bigger for the defense applications and the defense schools. So, in that connection, I am currently the program director for the medium altitude long range security, which is the TAPAS. Which most of you earlier because of most of which is in a very advanced stage of development. So, in this regard, to respond to this question, we have here aeronautical test range, which is developed by the DRDO, which is 200 kilometers from Bangalore in a place called Chalakkere, which can be used by all of the private or public sector or the government agencies for the testing, subject to the availability based on the other program. Priority will be given for the DRDO. It has got a 3 kilometers runway, and it is a BOD area up to 5,000 feet and 10 kilometers radius. You can do all the testing.
One more thing, DGC is playing a major role in the thing. DGC should be involved.
Sorry?
DGC. Well, DGC.
Surprising, sir. DGC. No, I would like to add why Tilpat range cannot be given here.
Let me coming on that first part of
Okay, can I first request, the gentleman who is
We are from anti-drone
Okay.
industry, sir. We wanted to know if the policy regarding the drones, as far as the threat is concerned, is there a sovereign responsibility or it's a private industry's responsibility to protect themselves against drones? Number one. We have defense, we are talking mostly, but airports and refineries and large factories will also require, the moment we open up the drone space, any drone accidentally falling on a petrochemical complex can be as disastrous as an enemy attack. So without a UTM, without a policy defining the lower airspace, medium airspace and higher airspace. So we have the airspace occupied by aircrafts. But what is the definition of the lower airspace and who owns it and who will run the counter drone operations? That's number one. And two, he has already raised the point that we test the radars. So if I have to test a 5-kilometer range radar, I need an aircraft which is of the size which will travel 5 kilometers. That means the aircraft what he makes is the kind of a target or an attack drone I have to simulate. And then we have to show this particular capability to defense. So how do I prove my radar if I do not have a test range? And will you allow a private agency to test these equipment, or there will be defense controlled, maybe DRDO like you have these?
No. Here we don't have anything. It is open for the private also. But there will be some commercial terms involved.
I'm not looking at the commercial, I'm looking at the safety aspect. That should I be doing a testing, rather than doing testing of my own equipment, I'll fail an attack. So a testing facility, a proving facility has to come from Ministry of Defense.
Very good question. So I think it's a longer debate because the Indian policy,
that's the start point, sir.
The Indian policy, regulations, possibility of having technology for anti-drone. I think anti-drone and drone, as far as defense is concerned, national security concerned, will have to go hand in hand.
Yes, sir.
You cannot have only drone and no counter-drone because your drones are also going to go into the contested environment.
Correct.
And unless you generate a contest for your adversary, you are again going to be completely overwhelmed by their drones.
Yes.
So I think absolutely level playing field has to be there between the drone and the counter-drone technology. They have to go hand in hand because you will only make drones in understanding of what your drone cannot do or will be stopped from doing. And you will have to make sure that you do not allow the adversary to do what you don't want it to be doing. But I will request General Kandare. I will take all the points which ultimately I will have meeting with General Kandare. But I will request him because he has to leave. I cannot stop him. He's got important engagement. I will request him to give out his conclusive remarks for him, his being here today. And he will continue with the roundtable discussion. And I will take his points and convey. Thank you.
I will start immediately with what you brought out, which is about the counter drone. Now, counter drone, anti drone, whatever we want to see. There's a lot of work which is already happening as to identify who's responsible for what. There is segmentization as to what will happen along the line of active control, along the line of control, along the international border, around VAs and VPs, who's responsible in the commercial sector for the airports. So there is a lot of that which is happening. And when we look at a possible solution, a lot of people have been saying, this solution, that solution, it doesn't work. We have to customize our solution. Israel as a small country can have an iron dome. We will require 1 million iron domes. So that is the difference.
Can you afford that kind?
And that technology which Israel refuses to part unless you have a G2G. And G2G doesn't work to the level that we are not able to customize it to that extent, whether it is radars or missiles. And another thing, when somebody was explaining here, the counter drone or anti-drone, the regulatory mechanism has to be so good. There is an external threat and there is an internal threat. There are rogue elements here. So when we say 2.5 front, we are not talking of geographical. We are talking of adversary defined 2.5 front. So we need to have solutions for each one of these. And there is some work happening, but now this, I keep repeating that this association should be able to give out your views, which the government should be able to integrate. As far as testing range is concerned, there is a testing range which DRDO representative scientist has given out. I also have my sincere doubts about the adequacy of one range.
Meaning multiple.
So that way, what could be the possible solutions? Can you have identified states and the center taking initiative? You all will have to take a call because something being manufactured in Kerala, how are you supposed to get it to some other place in some other corner? So there are certain testing facilities which very recently we have asked DGQA to examine in 3 parts of the country, 3 different locations, so that even startups and MSMEs don't find it difficult, because it's very easy to say that you come here, but imagine the
Cost.
the economic burden that we put on.
So most of the drone operators will agree that we have contravened the law when we have done our testing in some remote area.
I am not listening. The other part is while we are looking at these autonomous vehicles, there is another challenge which we must look at. There are some drones which are already used in mapping, and when we are doing mapping, I got to know that we are still looking at the open source mapping. Then Pannu has been an MO director. He will be able to guide you all when we look at the DSMC mapping, and that is in our particular area, and some of it is in our area, some of it is across. So there will be some results which will come of our area, but those will find it extremely challenging to go across. So there is a technical issue there, the kind of fusion that is required of drone results and space results, and the resolution, the mapping resolution of it, which is just one more challenge which I am dealing with you all. So convergence with results from satellites and then getting it on one single screen is another challenge which we all will require. Academia, excellent point. I would request, since you are into that, and you did mention AICTE, when you are looking at this AICTE giving equivalence to certain qualifications, there are a lot of people from the armed forces exiting. Will you be in a position to give them some short course capsule and thereafter giving them qualification which is suitable for the industry, the drone industry? It will help, because the start point for these people, the human capital which is exiting out of armed forces, there are 2 types of people who will exit. One after full 20 years of service, and there will be agreed who will exit after 4 years of service. You possibly will have to do a different kind of mapping.
We are doing, sir, 500 center of excellence are coming through Garuda. We are one of them. We are asking a higher level where 2 weeks training will be given anybody on this. Actual usage plus some other technical, so we are drafting, sir.
Yeah, because within a few years, the way our economy is moving, there will be a shortage of skilled hands. It's already felt in the manufacturing sector. So here you have a population which is still increasing and China which is decreasing. But China's point is also correct. At least in those days we can say we don't have that kind of skilled manpower as is desirable.
You are right, sir. As per gazette of our Niti Ayog, that government gazette, we need 1 lakh people in coming 5 years.
Yeah.
Drones, if you see the Niti Ayog. So we are there, sir. Only request is until unless industry and the government support, otherwise my school will be closed because there is no service for my students. So they will not take admissions. So there has to be industry and the governance and the academia handshaking in such a manner. In coming time, we don't depend on the foreign countries. This is such a third dimension force.
Absolutely.
So that is where NADDSO Chamber.
Sir, excuse me, sir. I am Gabriel and I am a drone pilot, BDC certified drone pilot. And we are a small company. We manufacture tank parts, that is T91 and T70 vehicle small parts and manufacture which support the defense of 40 years. Our company name is Copper Curves. We are from Kolkata. So, sir, what we see is that there is a big gap. Now, gentleman was talking about academia. I have trained 1,500 students. I am a guest faculty for National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and engineering staff of College of India. MADDSO is giving a lot of funds, and DST is giving a lot of funds for drone training. And sir, you know very well that drone courses has been designed by National Skill Development, and there is a 6 months course, and there is a 3 months course, and now IIT Kanpur has also started a degree course in drone training and AI. So we also have signed up MOUs with some education institutions through AICT, and there is a issue because people want to get only pilot certificate. Is there any other certificate
this other than that, because pilot training course costs 75,000-80,000. If you want to skill the Indian youths or Indian young people, so my suggestion is there should be some kind of a certificate which shall be should be given by the AICD or some recognition by National Skill Development or in the ITIs, lower level where the drone can be opened and we give a certification to them and that certification can be valid. So we have future trained engineers or technicians who can, drone flies and it falls and to do all these things. So
thank you so much. I agree with you, and I'm sure people in the association will take all these points and bring it to us. And I agree with you fully that there are different sets required for different parts of this entire industry, and that has to function through the, I can't call them low level, but I'll call them appropriate level.
Yes,
everybody cannot be taken from IIT, and in any case, this industry is not going to function on IIT.
Yes,
they want to function on IT.
I also agree with the gentleman and he said we have to set up center of excellence. 500 will not be enough, sir, because the youth in India
start somewhere. I think I was actually pleasantly surprised we gave a figure of 500. I thought it was not even that, but that is something good.
Yeah, I understand.
And we will, okay, there are a couple of points more. I'll request your attention here. See, you are the people who have to sell. If you have to sell, you have to suggest that where should these get embedded. Like there is a lot of HADR, Humanitarian Assistance Disaster Relief, which is done in India, which is done outside. That is another place where you should be able to. So you suggest to Raj that this needs to be inserted in so and so ministry. Like maybe can suggest that this is a requirement for seabed mining, hydrographic survey. So if you bring that, then the market gets wider. The MOES can also be a part of this. So the other point is, I can request the Air Force senior officer who is here, would you like to take this project under ITEX challenges?
So we already, in fact, grown in the last 1 year, at least 7 to 8 projects we have taken.
I'm saying take 75.
Yes.
If you take 75, I'll make.
Yes.
75 is the magic word these days.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you take that?
But IIT is considering all IITians, not other small companies.
No, my point here is if all of you give ideas,
Yes,
you are the manufacturers. You are the people who have to give the problem statement and the answer.
Problem and solution.
This is like मुझे answer आता है, मैं question बना. So if you are able to do that, it can again move with a lot of speed because we have to compress time. We cannot start this gradual movement and the technological difference between us and China is already huge.
10 years, 10 to 15 years.
So that can only be done if we are not incremental, but Navy had given a great word sprint. They should have been diving, but they gave sprint and they got it. The Prime Minister came and inaugurated. So that is smartness, If you get the Prime Minister to inaugurate it, who can stop it? So that is how you will have to strategically move ahead. And TDF obviously is well known, but whatever are your questions with DRC, please do that. I have one small request for the services. The services you are ultimately the users. You have to get your decision making faster. You have to work around people in the ministry and get the payments done fast. So those are the only two things which I want to mention. And policy changes, policy gaps, you all, because you don't have that stamina that you can keep traveling and keep going up and down. So please give it to Raj, give it to Janan Pannu and let those come to us. And white paper is good, but what is required is an action.
Implementation.
Yeah, action. You give me 20 pages, who's got the time to read it? You give me on one sheet, action plan as to which ministry, who. Then we send it accordingly to that person. A traffic management system, absolutely correct. That is one suitable addition which can be given. You know who are the users, you know what is the air traffic management, who can know better than the Air Force. So, and In fact, somebody said he immediately came up. There is a flight route and the implications
So,
are.
excuse me, sir, one question, sir. When will the UTM be ready, sir? Is there any chance the UTM can be ready? Because in digital sky, for every drone, which is not from the micro category, sorry, not from the nano category, right, from micro to small, we need to give a flight plan. So when that will be operational? Because
I'll explain. I have spoken to DGC direction on this election and you know what is happening and all. What is the difference between UTM of Eurocontrol is Eurocontrol is European basically FAA also. And that's one difference was the gap. Some assertions you are going to the and share. I have spoken on.
Thank you so much for being here, and my sincere apologies that I can't be with you for any longer. There are very senior officers who are senior to me sitting in the audience. My apologies, sir, that I can't be there with you longer. But all your inputs we definitely will look at. Thank you.
Sir.